The story begins in Los Angeles. In the year 2030, a man was running like crazy. He was very scared. The whole city was after him to kill him. Even private car drivers got out just to kill him. Somehow, he reached a poor woman's house. The woman asked, "What are you doing here?" The man pulled out a knife and said, "If you utter a single word, I will gouge your eyes out and play marbles with them. Just stay quiet." After a while, when the woman got a chance, she pulled out a nail gun, shot him dead, and kicked him twice to make sure he was really dead. Suddenly, some people with weapons entered. When they saw the man already dead, they were upset because the woman had killed him before they could. The woman picked up a card from the dead man and told her son, "Finally, we are going to be rich." She broke the card, and within minutes, the police rushed in along with a reality show team. It was announced that the woman had won $2 million. Then it was revealed that this was a game in which millions of people took part. Every day, a random man was chosen. If someone killed that man before sunset, the reward would go to the killer. And if no one killed him, the man himself would win the prize. But the condition was that no one could use firearms like pistols or rifles. That same day, we see a girl named Katie. She was a failed actress who had come to Los Angeles to try her luck in auditions. A woman sitting beside her said, "You look very innocent. Take care, dear. People here are thieves." Katie said, "Thanks for the advice. You are a very nice lady." The woman held her hand and said, "Don't say that. You're like my daughter. Okay, I'll get off here. Goodbye." A little later, Katie looked at her wrist and was shocked to see that the woman had stolen her watch. She said, "That woman is a thief." Katie reached the room she had booked online. But when she saw the room, she was upset because it looked completely different from the pictures shown online. The landlady said, "We use different photos to trap customers." As soon as Katie sat on the bed collapsed. But she had no choice because the rent was cheap. Later, Ella's fiancé came and told Ella, "Tomorrow's lottery event prize will be $600 million. Hearing this, Katie was shocked, wondering what kind of competition this was. She said, "Don't talk nonsense. Give me the room key. I need to sleep." They gave her the key, and Katie went to sleep. The next morning, water was dripping on her face. When she looked up at the ceiling, she realized that the upstairs neighbor's bathroom was leaking. Her audition clothes were ruined too. She called Ella angrily, "What nonsense is this? I wake up and people are peeing on me. Even my clothes are spoiled." Ella said, "Don't worry, dear. Wear my clothes from the cupboard." Katie really did that and left for the audition. Only half an hour was left. When she entered the audition place, she saw many other girls there. She performed her scene. The director said, "Impressive, but never show me your face again." At that moment, suddenly, Katie's card activated. She took it out and unknowingly got registered into the game. She had no idea what the card was or why it scanned her face. Later, angry after failing the audition, she walked out. Nearby girls realized she was the target. One girl picked up a chair and hit her friend on the head. Another girl grabbed a shoe and attacked. Katie screamed and ran away, but the real problem came when she ran into a karate training hall to hide. Obviously, all the karate guys attacked her. She was helpless, stuck in the middle. The captain said, "Only I will kill her." He lifted her, spun her around, and smashed her into a wall, which threw her into the women's gym. As soon as everyone realized she was the winner, they all jumped on her. The karate boys also came. Everyone was fighting to kill her. Finally, the coach grabbed her by the neck and said, "Only I will kill her." Just as he was about to strike, suddenly Noel appeared. He punched the coach and threw him into a wall. Then he told Katie, "Don't be afraid. I am a bodyguard. If you give me 10% of the prize, I'll protect you." She said, "Fine. I'll even give you the full prize. Just save me." Noel tied her to his waist with a belt to keep her safe. He fought and defeated all the enemies. Then a weak boy came. Noel said, "Look, if I hit you, I'll feel pity myself. I'll count to 3. If you don't run, you're finished." The boy immediately said, "Sir, respect to you," and ran away. Then they both escaped the building. They realized a drone was tracking Katie every 15 minutes, sharing her location with other players. They found a car and fled. Katie asked Noel, "What is this game? Why are people chasing me to kill me? I want out of this game." "Find a way," Noel said. "There is only one way. You must survive the city's people. If you die, I'll lose my 10% too." As Noel was driving, suddenly a group of masked bikers surrounded their car. One of them smashed the window with a hammer. Katie screamed while Noel fought back with whatever he could grab. He rammed the car into one biker, but more kept chasing. Finally, he swerved sharply into an alley, causing two bikers to crash into each other. For a moment, they were safe. Katie, breathing heavily, said, "I can't take this anymore. I never asked for this game." Noel replied, "Calm down. If you panic, you're finished. Just remember, survive until sunset and you win." Meanwhile, the reality show hosts were broadcasting everything live. Millions of people were watching, laughing, and placing bets on whether Katie would survive or not. She had no idea that her entire struggle was entertainment for the world. Suddenly, Noel's car broke down. Smoke rose from the engine. They were stranded. Noel said, "We need to hide." He pulled Katie into a nearby shopping mall, but that was a mistake, because everyone inside immediately recognized her as the target. Chaos broke out. Shopkeepers, customers, even security guards, all rushed toward her with whatever weapons they could find. Noel fought bravely, knocking down one attacker after another, but the crowd was endless. Katie spotted an escalator and shouted, "There!" They both ran up, but the crowd chased them like a wave. At the top floor, Katie saw an opening and pushed Noel inside a store. They locked the shutter from inside and hid. Katie sat down, trembling. "Why me? I didn't even sign up for this game." Noel looked at her seriously and said, "Sometimes the game chooses people randomly. But maybe you were meant for this." Before Katie could answer, the lights in the store flickered. From the shadows, a tall, dangerous man stepped forward. He was one of the top players, someone who had killed dozens of targets before. He smiled cruelly and said, "Looks like I've found my jackpot." Noel pulled out a metal rod, ready to fight. Katie whispered, "We're not going to survive this." The man lunged forward with a knife, and Noel blocked it with the rod. Sparks flew as metal clashed against metal. Katie crawled backward, trying to stay out of sight, but the man's eyes kept shifting toward her like a predator. Noel fought fiercely, but this enemy was different. He was faster, stronger, and had clearly played the game many times before. He pushed Noel against a shelf, knocking down glass bottles that shattered across the floor. Katie grabbed one of the broken bottles and shouted, "Leave him alone!" She stabbed the man's leg. He howled in pain and stumbled, giving Noel the chance to strike his head with the rod and knock him unconscious. Breathing heavily, Noel said, "Good job, kid." Maybe you're not as helpless as you think. Katie's hands were trembling, but she forced herself to stand. "I don't want to kill anyone, but I don't want to die either." They escaped through the back of the mall, only to realize drones were already circling above them. Every screen in the city now showed Katie's face with flashing lights. Target. Crowds began to chase again. Noel pulled Katie into the subway station. They jumped onto the tracks and ran into a dark tunnel. For a while, it was quiet, just the sound of dripping water and their footsteps. Katie whispered, "Maybe we lost them." But suddenly, a train's headlights appeared. They had to press themselves flat against the wall as the train roared past, nearly crushing them. When they reached the other end of the tunnel, they found themselves in a deserted junkyard. Noel said, "Sunset is only a few hours away. If we can hide here until then, you'll win." Katie looked around nervously and asked, "But what if they find us?" As if on cue, loudspeakers around the junkyard came to life. A voice announced, "Final stage unlocked. Double reward for whoever kills the target before sunset." Katie's heart dropped. Now, instead of fewer enemies, there would be more. The junkyard gates burst open and dozens of armed players stormed inside. Noel tightened his grip on the rod and said, "Stay behind me, no matter what." The battle began. He fought wave after wave of attackers, while Katie tried to stay hidden among the piles of scrap metal. She watched Noel take hits, bleed, and yet keep fighting like a warrior. Finally, when Noel was overpowered and pinned to the ground, Katie found the courage inside her. She climbed onto a crane, swung the giant hook, and crashed it into the crowd of enemies, scattering them like ants. She rushed down, grabbed Noel, and dragged him away. The sun was setting. Just a few more minutes. But then, the same dangerous man from before, the one they thought was unconscious, appeared again. Bloodied but smiling, he limped toward Katie with his knife. "No more running," he said. Katie closed her eyes, preparing for the worst, but suddenly the timer beeped. The sun had set. The man froze in disbelief. A siren went off across the city, announcing, "Target survived. Katie wins. $600 million. The man dropped his knife in anger. Reality show cameras swarmed in, recording Katie as the winner. People cheered, some booed, but the game was over. Katie stood there, shocked and exhausted. She looked at Noel, who was barely standing, and said, "We did it." He smiled weakly and replied, "Told you, kid. You just had to survive." And with that, Katie's life was changed forever. She had entered the city as a failed actress, but left as a survivor of the most dangerous game in the world.